Cheers, Canadian wine lovers! Happy Wine Wednesday! Today we're talking with Marcel Morgenstern from Bella Terra Vineyards, one of the members' favorite here at Carl's Wine Club. So stay tuned.
Yes,
Cheers.
Wine Wednesday.
Happy
Cheers.
Wine Wednesday! Mira Boucher, Carl's Wine Club members, all Canadian wine lovers, welcome, welcome. It's Bella Terra week. It is Christmas season full on, and we are in the spirit of the holidays. Where's my pom-pom? Right here. There you go. And yeah, we're here to have fun. Mira had some barrel sample Tempranillo in her glass. So a little gem from the south of the Okanagan. And I have a pretty good lineup of Bella Terra here in front of me. So welcome, everyone.
Carl was out picking up members' orders. We had quite a few members who reached out and wanted mixed packs as either a gift for someone they know or for themselves. So you felt like Santa today, didn't you?
Oh, it was like doing grocery shopping, right? Stop here, put couple in the car, drive to somewhere else. And you know, when you do that and you get someone say, hey, by the way, come on in. I want to taste some barrels. So that's what it looks like when you come back grocery shopping. And you got couple of tank sample, barrel sample, and all of that. So yeah, some nice 2022 Tempranillo. Look at our VIP page for more info. I have a little impromptu live this afternoon with our friend Mark Simpson at Mythology Vineyard. So it was a lot of fun, I also picked up some 2016 Gruner Veltliner Sparkling because it will be pretty freaking tasty, and I can't wait to taste that.
Super unique. And guess what? Next Wine Wednesday, we're not featuring a weekly winery for the rest of the year. Bella Terra is our last feature of the year.
There's the exclamation point of 2023 of Carl's Wine Club.
Yeah. And so next Wednesday, we're going to open a lot of sparkling wines and just talk about bubbly for the holidays, aren't we?
Yeah, but we can, just because we can. Mira said, you know what? We should taste a bunch of Wine Wednesday of sparkling just before Christmas. And I thought it was a pretty freaking fantastic idea. But you know, you don't want to get lost into the complexity of the traditional method and the, let's say, the pretentiousness of champagne and what's the best. No, we just wanted to make it a fun, sparkling conversation, and we got a bunch. Like, even before starting collecting samples, I think I already have 12 samples of fun stuff downstairs. So yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to have some winemaker joining us, and I should have my Santa hat again. So
yeah.
Can't wait to do that. That's going to be fun. But today, yeah, like this week, and for the next 10 days, we're going to feature our, I know it's one of a member's favorite. It might be our favorite too. I think it's just so great to get back with Bella Terra and to do some fun stuff with them. So we have two different packs this week, two different option. One is a little bit more premium, big boy, like like serious wines with the 4-pack, one Appassimento and the 3 Big Boy 2020 vintage, which is the Cap Franc, the Cap Sauv, and the Meritage, all rated at least 93 points. But no, the Appassimento is 91 plus, but the 3 2020 are extremely highly scored by me, but also by Rick Vansickle, by Wine Align. That's the school calling, saying that our kids didn't go to school today. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry about that. But yeah, so this is the 4 premium pack for just under, well, it's a value of $225. And Marcel went crazy and he said, okay, let's do it for $199. Like, okay. Including tax. You're darn right about that.
Including shipping, I believe, too, because $199 and up is free shipping. So it's a pretty sweet deal. We've had some people send that as a gift.
I mean, if you look at it, Mira, it's a like $55 discount.
With the shipping. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something pretty cool. So pretty good deal on that one. And these wines are.
This is why they are amazing. This is why we love Bella Terra so much. And I think that this is why members voted it in 2021. It was our first Ontario winery of the year as voted by members, because not only do they make these phenomenal, luxurious, age-worthy, very well priced, actually, reds, but more on the premium side. They also make some of the best value wines we've ever found. You know,
and this. Hey, how many times are they gonna call? Okay, there you go. And Jesus, and this one, I mean, this has to be part of at least my top 3 value wine of the year. There is absolutely no doubt about that. That Cab Merlot, 1995. I have an idea. At least my top 2, my 1 and 2. I have Vineland, that crazy Vineland Cab Merlot at $15.95. It was just, it's like insanely, what the fuck is going on? Like, I mean, but
these are lost leaders. I'm convinced of it. For Bella Terra, for Vineland, these are lost leaders. I don't think they're doing this to make a ton of money. They're doing this to make sure that lots of people can experience what great Niagara wine is like.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I can't remember the exact blend. I think there's a 10% Malbec in that. Is it this one? No.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll put the link in.
Thank you very much. But I give it a 91 points. There's a few reasons, and we'll talk about it with Marcel. I don't want to spill the beads, the whole thing, before Marcel joins me, because the only one, Marcel Morgenstern, is going to be joining me in a few minutes' time, and we're going to talk value.
In the green room. So
is he?
Yeah.
Is he? He can wait a bit, okay? He can wait a bit. Let him marinate a little bit.
1 minute. Jeez. You got 1 minute, Carl Boucher.
I got 1 minute. But yeah, I'm going to ask, like, how the frick that he makes it happen to have a wine of that quality at for $19.95, including tax. So we'll let Marcel tell us what's the deal with that wine, because again, he gave us a good deal to give Carl's Wine Club members a little Merry Ho 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 Merry Christmas German way. So yeah, no, not only do they make some top-notch premium wine, but they also make some amazing value wine, and we're going to discuss the whole thing with him tonight. So yeah, I love that. This is our value pack, the Discovery Christmas pack, with a gold medal wild ferment Riesling, with a stunning Vidal sparkling, one of my favorite, the Chardonnay sur Lie. And the Chardonnay sur Lie, I want everyone to remember that at the very, very, very beginning, when we discovered Bella Terra, the wine that told me, like, what? I remember, I think it was $17.95 back then, the first sur Lie that I tasted. It was like, geez, this is fantastic. So this very wine absolutely really like got me. I want to know more about these guys. And now the 2021 version is in the pack. And there's also our one of our top Cap Franc in the last 2 years. Number 5 of my top 10 wine of the year last year. The very freaking fantastically famous, fantastically freaking amazing 2020 Cap Franc from Bella Terra, 94 plus points. It's part of this pack and also part of the premium pack. So yeah.
Lots of great stuff. And of course, the Appassimento, which I have to
say.
Yeah. is a very special kind of Appassimento because it's still very vibrant and fresh and flavorful. Like it's not, I've tasted some Appassimentos that just get super heavy and big. And this is still very, very enjoyable in so many ways. So
yeah, this so I don't think it's the picture of the Appassimento because the Appassimento have the beautiful wax top. Like this is luxurious as luxurious can be. So I really, but like Mira mentioned, it's one of the freshest Appassimento that I have. Like really fresh, really like it's kind of light on its feet for an Appassimento. Really, really cool. Absolutely. So yeah, this is Bella Terra week, and while we're talking Bella Terra, I think we should talk Bella Terra with Mr. Bella Terra on its own.
Yeah, Marcel Morgenstern. So great to have you on, Marcel.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. There you go.
It got lonely in the green room, so I had to crack the bottle open already. So.
Well, you cracked the bottle of what? Or something behind you? Yeah, did you go random, just reaching behind?
Oh.
Is it the 17?
2020.
Oh, that's the 2020. Now you'll tell me, okay?
No.
Was I out for lunch when I rated that wine 94 plus points a year and a half ago?
Well, I liked it before, but now I just like it that much better. No, it's listen, the 17, that was the treat. I hadn't cracked that open in a while, and when you ask, yeah, Marcel, that's nice selection of wine, but give me something that nobody else is getting. We had a little meeting, and yeah, so we decided to crack that open. And I think a little while ago, Lou's son David had a bottle, and he was like, "Holy crap! Have you tasted it recently?" So I pulled Fred out of the meeting that that he had on the production side, and it's like, "Yeah, I need you here. Let's crack this bottle open."
So while we're talking about that, wait a minute, because we have people all over the country to go everywhere, right? So Mira, magic, please. Magic, play.
Oh, yes. Oh,
please.
Yes. So this is what happened, because this all conspired yesterday.
That happened pretty quick. It happened. Okay.
Hey, Carl, you wanted something special for your members, so we talked to Lou, and we're pulling out some 2017 Cap Franc, and who better to talk about the wine where it's at than Fred DeProfio, who made the stuff back from the 17 vintage.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, so this has been this is one of our unfiltered wines, right?
Mm-hmm. Indeed, yeah.
And tell us a little bit about the wine and where it's at.
So yeah, 2017 was a fairly cool vintage. So we maintained a lot of good acidity, which is great for longevity. We had great extraction, as we can see, very dark, still very dark. It was 20 months in French oak, and it would have been now 3.5 years in bottle, mellowing. Cap Franc's a very tannic wine, but it's yeah, it's softened nicely. It's drinking really well.
A lot of fruit still on the...
Still a lot of fruit. This wine can age for years more. Like I said, we had good acidity, which helps maintain the color and the general balance of the wine. Just awesome. Loving it right now. Thanks for bringing it out, Marcel.
Well, I don't think I can give him too much then. So 8 cases we can spare? Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Eight cases it is.
8
Carl?
less a bottle. I want a bottle.
Eight less a bottle? Okay, perfect. I know a guy you can call. You gotta call BC in order to buy your own wine back. So, anyways, cheers from us, and Canadian wine lovers, get a hold of these bottles. Cheers.
Cheers.
There you go.
Hey, Carl, you wanted something special?
That was
I
fantastic.
didn't know how to finish it. I wanted to copy you with the Canadian wine lovers, and then I totally fell off. I was like, I don't know what else to say.
First and foremost, the German accent doesn't really match the French one. So right there, right? I mean,
It's too
pretty
insulting
cool
if I put my French accent on, Carl. I wouldn't do that to you.
oh,
We got inspired this by some of our members who said, "Oh, like the older Cab Francs from Bella Terra are just unreal." Of course, everybody's remembering. Tammy's got 17 in her
Hold
glass.
on, Tammy. Where did that bottle come from? That better be bought back in the past and not out of that case that I opened.
these are easily trackable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
oh,
And
yeah,
so-
no. I mean, when we do something with you, Marcel, there's always a little something special coming out of that. And I just thought, you know what? We're just around the corner for Christmas. Maybe we can. And these guys made it happen in like 12 hours, and I thought it was fantastic. So thank you so much for putting out the 17 out of the library. And I mean, this wine is almost 7 years old already. Can you believe that? Time flies by, man.
I think that was the craziest part when he's like, oh yeah, this has been now, 2 years, basically almost 2 years in oak, and then 3.5 years mellowing in the bottle. I'm standing there. I'm like, I remember when we basically put the labels on these bottles. So, time is a blur, but what I love about it is that these wines are really, I know that's the whole romantic side of wine, but they are really time capsules, right? Like that you, and when we compared it to like the 16s or now the 20 that are much hotter, much sunnier vintages, but the 17, when it first came out, like we sat on it for quite a while before we released it. Because they were so tight, and we had that recently. We have a wine that's not part of this collection, but our Bella Terra Red, which was a 2018 vintage, which was not considered a great vintage at all. And my God, we had quite a bit of volume of it. It was kind of our mid-range wine blend. And it was so tight, I didn't know like what is going to happen with this. And it had a screw cap on it as well, so it just was hanging on. It's drinking beautifully right now, like a 2018 that is just drinking absolutely fantastic now. So, having said that, kudos to Fred, because even the wines that they don't start out as blockbusters when you first think, oh, okay, now it's maybe time to release them. Some of them just take longer, and all of them that he has 100% success rate in my mind so far. All of them eventually come around and turn out to be beautiful wines. It's just in some vintages that journey is faster. In others, you just got to be more patient, which we all know. I'm the most patient guy in this room, right after Carl.
Absolutely. No, but and we're right now, and we have it right in front of us now with the 2020 vintage, and you referred to the 2016 vintage earlier. These blockbusters are good to drink right out of the gate because the fruit comes out so ripe and ready to go. And when you get to the colder vintage, and these are more of the like these secret on like these little like dirty secret that no one knows. We overlook these follow-up vintage so much because the blockbuster of the year before, and that's exactly what happened with 17.
Well, and I think the key is to know that sometimes I think people mistake this, or we even when we talk about it, that only because something is a blockbuster vintage, and that the follow-up vintage, you know, is tighter. And so that doesn't mean that 2017 the fruit wasn't totally ripe. I mean, you look at the color, you look at the alcohol levels, which, you know, indicates the Brix levels when the fruit came off. So these wines, these grapes, I mean, they're fully ripe when we harvest them. And sometimes we gotta wait a little bit longer, but those are only like certain parts of the wine, right? The sugars that turn into alcohol, the color, but the magic then is within the rest of the wine, like, and that's where I'm totally lost and I can't even speak to. So if the fruit is fully ripe, why is it that the one opens up faster and the other one, you know, it's slower? Sure, it has to do with the tannins and all of that, but don't ask me any more questions. That's way beyond my pay grade.
Boy, let's get back to your pay grade, because I think that in terms of value wine across the country, I mean, you guys are putting together some of the best, very, very best value proposition. And you know, once in a while, I get on something where I just can't believe the price point on a very specific wine. You guys have put, like, with the Burnship Bay, so many great value wines with some previous Bella Terra or the Pond View, but this year you guys did it again. Like, I mean, what happened here? Like the 2021 Cab Merlot, we have to start with that, Marcel. I mean,
which is funny. I wanted to add something that, you know, to the pack, because you told me, like, you know, holiday pack, that I call these wines, they're the cellar insurance. So, you know, you have family, you have friends over for the holidays. Okay, great. You want to impress them, you open the 2020 Cab Franc, and after that, people just want a glass of white or glass of red. So for the glass of white, so that you don't go into your cellar and open the big stuff, yeah, we got the Chardonnay, and everybody's going to be happy with it. And the Cab Merlot is so that you keep the rest of the reserve wines for yourself and don't share them with people that just want a glass of red. So that's why it's cellar insurance. But it's the 2021 vintage, which
is it a little bit the cousin of the 2017? I mean, post-blockbuster where people overlook?
Well, maybe even less. So 2021 was not a great vintage. And we did not make any of our big reserves in that vintage. So we had a lot more volume that was not allocated to our top tier wines, which, you know, you can be guaranteed when you're buying a Bella Terra with the big, you know, white reserve label on it, that quality is going to be consistent from one vintage to the next. But some vintages, we don't make those big reserves. And then we have wine in barrel and wine around from older vines that we find a home for. So we have this tier. We have two tiers, actually. We have the Cab Merlot and the Cab Merlot Reserve. And those are no matter what the vintage is, those wines are there. They're always juicy. They're always ripe. And where we only have a few months of oak aging with the Cab Merlot. The next one up, we're going to release, hopefully in a few months when it really opens up, the Cab Merlot Reserve. That would have been in barrels for a year in French oak barrels. That is basically where I guess you could call it, declassify those big those big boys into that when it's just not enough. And at the same time, we've been planting more vineyards over the last few years, so there's also some of the younger fruit in here, and that's why that wine is fruit driven. We want to showcase that you know, even in those value wines, you can achieve full ripeness, and that big part of that is because we're not scheduling around a grape grower that supplies multiple wineries, and we grow all of our own grapes, and with that
full
comes the
control
luxury
from
of
start
timing.
to finish, right?
Yes.
And you know what? The guy who takes care of the vines is the founder. That's the
Yes.
old man. That's the boss. He's the guy who
Don't
knows
call
the
him an old
land.
man.
Yeah. I mean,
He is
he
not
knows his
listening.
land
Don't
better
call
than
him an old
anybody
man.
else. I mean, like, come on, and I mean, when you own the darn operation from start to finish, in a sense that you don't have anyone else involved in the decision making. I mean, this is the quality from start to finish right there.
Well,
Fred, the
and this is
winemaker, has been involved with Lou from the very beginning, right?
yeah. So Fred the Profio has made the wine for Lou Puglisi since day one, and I think there is that nice division between. Well, that's why Vineyards is in the name, because that's really how the whole operation started with Lou's parents in 1974. And that's where the journey has taken Lou to open the winery and realizing what his expertise is. And I guess it wasn't going back to school to learn winemaking. No, then you hire an expert for that, and that's obviously that's Fred. And I think working together for that long and having that dialogue between what we want to see happen in the vineyard and what the land can do for us, that has just really created a great synergy between those two to bring the high end stuff, but also work out some great as you call, like, the value wines, right? And have that on a consistent basis, which we do a lot of business with those wines in the restaurants across the province as well. So it just helps the whole picture.
Marcel, with my background, restaurant, hotel, I mean, if I go back in any restaurant, I want that Cab Merlot poured by the glass. I mean, I will get finally my wine costs under control with that type of bottle on my wine list on the by the
Yes.
glass. Darn it, this is such an amazing. So I couldn't stop myself. I have to give it a 91 points because I got so excited.
You're kidding.
I couldn't believe it. And I thought it might be a typo in the price point. I thought it was $29.95. That can't be $19.95. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Oh, shoot. You're not raising the price tonight, right?
No.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. No, honestly.
You asked how we do that. It's very simple. I don't get paid on those wines. That's why. No, I'm just joking.
No, I mean, every year I do my top 10 wine of the year, and I also do my top 5 value wine of the year. And I tell you, that has to be like with the Vineland Cab Merlot. Every year there's such a consistency at that price point, and this just sneak in the top 3. I mean, this is fantastic for the price point. So when I call you back, and I told you I was so excited. You said, "Oh, hold a second, I have an idea." So, which kind of deal that you put together for Carl's Wine Club members only?
I guess it's the baker's dozen is where you add one, so the winemaker's dozen is where you get the free bottle in the case for free. So if and I trust your judge. I think it's great value. Our restaurant customers think it's great value. So if you believe it, I hope with that little incentive that your members try it out as well and make it their house wine for the holidays and beyond. But I want to ask you, so value wines, I mean, value wines come at all different price points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to think, like, that kind of gave me the thought, like, thinking about the other reserve wines and so on. I think our aim is really that is what we're really going for, that to offer value at all price levels. That's really the goal, and that's why we have products in different categories, and I guess it comes also with the size of vineyards that we have some leeway, but just as you can taste in that pack, some of the wines are just built a little different than the others. So
No, definitely. So, and just to give perspective on our people from out west who are not in Ontario. So, you guys are located in Niagara on the Lake, which
Yes.
is a very different terroir than the Niagara Escarpment. Absolutely,
Yes.
completely different. And so, the home vineyard. How many acre do you guys have at the home farm?
So right on the vineyard where the winery is 55 acres, but we also have now a couple vineyards that are closer to the lake. So for some of the whites, we've actually relocated some of our grape growing for the whites, like Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, into the lakeshore appellation. So altogether, we manage just around 100 acres at the moment, and that makes us self-sufficient.
And and you, the farm, the winery is located on the 4 Mile Creek appellation.
Correct.
What makes the 4 Mile Creek appellation such a unique terroir?
Well, if you trust all the surveys and the science there, so it's one of the 2 appellations with the most heat units. So you know of some of our neighbor wineries around. If you're looking for big reds, which in general not trusted a lot, for big reds, Ontario, nobody really talks too often about the big cabs, but yeah, Cellars, for example, 2 sisters, big head. We all pull fruit from 4 Mile Creek, and we all have big cabs, whether it's Cab Franc or Cab Sauv, and even in the Merlot, you can see that richness, right? Actually, even in the Pinot Noir,
Yep,
as you have tasted, you know.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That is not, that
It's not
elegant
bench
style
fruit.
of.
It is not bench
No,
fruit.
no, that's right. You can't hide it. So it's,
Especially in a year like 2020.
oh yeah. So that to me is the most amazing thing. And when we have visitors or I go overseas and we talk about these wines and so on, or actually if I'm with the agency that works with us in Ontario, we go and visit restaurants in the city where things get introduced as we're talking about Ontario wine. No, we're talking about Niagara wine. No, not talking. We're talking about 4 Mile Creek sub appellation, which is what 20-minute, 30-minute drive from right in the middle of the whole bench lands, the bench area, and man, the wines taste like they are from 2 different provinces. In a good way. It's
Yeah,
just that different. And it's just down the road. So that to me is mind blowing.
it is. And like we mentioned, we didn't want to spend too much time because we talk about the 2020 vintage so much. We
Yeah.
don't want, but there was something special. It's something that you guys haven't seen a ton in Ontario, that quality of vintage. And it allowed you in 2020 to put together a lineup of wine that it's been, we talk about it, we scored it, we tasted it already, but I think now it's time for Canadian across the country to understand what's in the bottle for the 2020 vintage. And we have the Sauv, the Franc, and the Meritage in that pack. And these are special wines.
I'd say, you know what, that lineup right there, that's kind of the Bella Terra legacy pack. I think that really sums up. We make all these other styles of wines, but if you really want to know what differentiates us from other wineries across the country, but even neighboring wineries, and I'm not talking about just quality and price. I'm talking about like the style. Like if you really want to know what Lou is all about when he's growing grapes, and what Fred is all about making wine, that's the pack. That's the essence of what we do. There's lots of other wines that I like that we're making, but if I had to say just buy one pack, To sum up what we do, I'd say that's probably the one.
Yeah, and I remember, like I was telling Mira the experience I had. I remember in 2021 when I got there, and the 2020 were in barrel, and we did a barrel tasting of the 2020, and right at like from there already the Meritage, we were like, geez, like with all of that blended together, there was so much to look forward. And now, we're almost in 2024, and these wines are out now. And you open the Meritage, and you're like, it's like the genie in the bottle. I'm like, I remember tasting just after blending, and we put that in barrel, and now it's like, holy crap, wow. And it was so amazing to review my notes yesterday with the Meritage and all of that. The Franc, listen, I've retried the Franc over and over again. Like, I knew this wine inside out, but the Meritage, to retaste the Meritage and to re-enter into that full journey, this is a special wine.
Yeah. So what did you think of it? That's like, you cracked that open recently. What do you like? Where is it going? Where is it going?
I mean, it's a baby. I mean, I still like, I scored it open score, but now things are starting to come together. It's still like, obviously it's grippy. It's grippy, but not aggressive anymore, right? The oak has moved towards the center of the palate instead of to be front loaded.
Yeah.
And I like that or like there's the herbaceousness, a certain freshness who comes in the mid palate, that this wine is not heavy. This wine is big, but the wine is muscular, but it's not heavy. So, and that's why when that balance comes into play in that long finish, I'm like, I remember telling you, I think the Meritage will be the one who has the most to offer. And we had that conversation here saying, obviously, the Cap Franc is going to be the one out of the gate where people are going to lose their mind. And exactly what happened. Me first, right? I went banana on the score, on the go in my top 10 wine of the year. But I always kept in mind that 2021, late in the year, when we were sitting in the barrel room and we had that. I remember also putting a video that we had to censor that day as well. We couldn't publish that video.
We should. I hit the delete button on that. But so that's why, actually, out of that vintage and the Franc and the Meritage, that's the first time we did large format bottles. So I think we bottled 12 6-liter bottles of the Meritage, and then there's a bunch of 3-liter of the Franc and the Meritage, and a lot of 1.5 liters. But so in 20 years we can open. We'll raid Lou's cellar because he took bottle number 1. So in 20 years we can go and crack that open and see if you're still right, Carl.
So I have a little bit of an idea. I mean, Mike said before, and we've said, we started Carl's Wine Club in 2020, and it just so happened that 2 years later we discovered that was the vintage of the century.
There you go.
And so we need to have another collaboration at some point with a 2020 wine. And so what if we need to maybe buy some of those? Do you still have any? Those big bottles? 6 liters, pretty good for a get together, isn't it? Maybe for a member reunion.
I think so. Maybe there's a 2020 tasting party when you guys come back. I think we need to collect some bottles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think there's something special right there. Mira, did you have a few pictures of some of our epic get-together that we had at Bella Terra? Because for people who are just joining us or a new member in the club, you guys need to know that 2 years running, we had some of the most. I love that one. This is a good one. Too small guy.
Richard De Silva from all the way on the other side of the country, meeting at Bella Terra at our Pan-Canadian wine tasting.
No offense to any other events I've ever attended. I have to say that was probably my favorite wine event that I've ever done.
Amazing.
to have those people in one room was unbelievable.
It was really something.
And I can't wait until we do it on the other side of the country.
So,
Hint,
and
hint, hint.
okay, I have breaking news here. Even Mira doesn't know that. I haven't
be
seen Mira
careful
today.
now, Carl. Careful.
I met with someone in the south of the Okanagan couple days the last week, and I got a
Yes.
text from Esther Creek Winery saying, Carl, regarding our conversation about your Pan Canadian, we are very interested to sit down and talk about it.
All right.
So I got that text around 3:00 this afternoon.
Let's
Okay.
get them on the line and make a deal.
Yeah, let's just call them right now. We are currently looking, for venues, for sponsors, for partners with that, because we're not going to grow it exponentially from what it was in Niagara. We just basically want to do something very similar out here. And then we want to take it to the cities, because I know it's tough sometimes to get all the way out to wine country. And there's not even venues out here that seat more than 80.
But
or
the
100.
energy in that room on that panel, that's what we
incredible.
should have bottled.
Yeah, it was special.
Yeah.
Mira, we need to see that. I have a special request. I want to see that odd picture with Marcel and Brian Schmidt. This is the best picture in history of all the pictures.
What is this picture?
Oh my God. I was reviewing pictures today.
Should I hang up now?
Oh my God. That's the absolute best ever.
Oh
Jeff
boy.
Hundertmark sent a hug across the country and needed somebody to deliver it, right? So
yes.
It was unreal. But there's one more wine that I want to talk about, Marcel, because often we talk about the wine competition and like what's that mean for wineries, and sometimes it's a frustrating process, a very frustrating process. Many years you feel like you have a wine that there's no way this wine is not getting gold, and you don't even get rated. Like it's costly and this is frustrating. But for the first time, you got a gold medal at the Wine Line. Then it's
amazing. It's amazing when you finally submit to certain competitions and you win something. So, anyways, that I have to say that's my accent, I guess, gives it away. That I'm, other than the Big Reds, very passionate about that, because I think for a long time, especially in the swamplands of Niagara on the lake, Riesling is just something that you made and you made it semi-dry or sweeter because that's what the American tourists were expecting when they come across the border. And happy to report that other than ourselves, I think there's now a few more wineries that are taking that varietal in our immediate era much more serious. I mean, we know the bench has taken it serious for a very long time. So the turning point for us came actually. I'm gonna lie here, but I think it was 2014 or 15. I was doing Lou and I were doing a tasting at the Canadian Embassy in London, England, Trafalgar Square, and we had all these other Canadian wineries together. Great venue, and actually, I think that's the first time I met your friend John Skinner, actually, in London, from Painted Rock. And so we had these great tastings, a lot of great people going through, and you know what? It was busy all day long. I really didn't expect much. I thought, you know what? There's the certain media coming through, and then we're all gonna stand there and taste each other's wines. But every one of these, from what I understand, is busy, from doors open to doors closed, and we were told by the broker that I had in England at the time, make sure you bring your Riesling. And we had 30 cases of our semi-dry Riesling left. And I said, I really don't have any for sale. And you know what? It's not like we just make Riesling. Don't worry about it. No. Bring Riesling. So I think it was the 13 vintage, and poured it for a gentleman by the name of Steven Spurrier. And he said, probably one of the best Rieslings in the room. And I'm like, well, A, we don't have any left. And B, holy crap. So I said to Louis, okay, I think we follow this up, and we go and where my dad is from, the Nahe Valley, which is a contributory to the Rhine, which is Riesling country. That let's go on a little adventure and let's re-look at this varietal. So went down there, tasted there, went to the Mosel, Marcus Molitor, Dr. Lawson, and it was off season and all the tasting rooms closed, but it was right after Pro Wine in Düsseldorf. And we did the very next day after the show was done, we pull up to these wineries, and they're there because they're unloading their car from the show. So I go up and say, hey, can I help you? And by the way, we'd love to taste some wine. Oh, we're closed. So, you pull the, we're all the way from Canada, and I want to show my friend what real Riesling is like. Well, I got 15 minutes, no problem. And then, 2 hours later at each place, you're still tasting and talking. And I think,
and now you're back to the 1925 vintage, because these Riesling last for hundreds of years. So
1994 is as old as we went.
Wow.
And refocus. Let's make Riesling like that. We talked to Fred, and we went for that. Forget the semi-dry. Let's not worry about that. Let's make a batch that basically, if it doesn't sell, it's just we'll drink it. So bone dry, and then Fred layered that in. It's like, okay, what if it's wild ferment and just natural yeast out of the vineyards? And that first vintage, 16, was the first vintage that we made. And he's like, yeah, it's in bottle. Marcel, don't touch it. Don't open it. Of course, I didn't listen. Open it. Nothing on the nose, nothing on the palate. And every vintage from then on, it's the same. It needs over a year in bottle, at least, before we release these, and then it really starts to open up. And then so it went on to each vintage either won something or got great rating. 91 points, Wine Spectator, and so on. So I think it's a story of, and sorry, I've talked way too much about Riesling, but it's a story of something that, there was the vines. We know it's always been solid. There's never been anything wrong with it. But what if you go back now, as the region is growing up, as the winery is growing up, and let's go have another look at what are we doing with this? And so I think we have done that gradually, naturally with all of our other wines, but this one, I feel it was a real moment of let's really reconsider and relook at this. And it's, I'm not gonna lie, the first two vintages, my God, they just wouldn't sell, but the wine got better in the bottle while we were waiting. And then we had it in front of the right people, and then it really took off. So now it's a fantastic seller for us, but took a bit of time.
And we're looking at what? These are small production, though. Like, we're not looking at like thousands of cases. These are something more like 200-300 cases, right?
I think 400 cases were around. So for us, our size, that's pretty small production. Yeah, and it's nothing crazy either. I think we're like $25.
Yeah. Well, again, like when we talk about top quality at $25, that's, again, the value proposition comes back to the equation. It doesn't have to be 15 or under 20. It's when it most over deliver its price point. That's where value comes into the equation.
I can tell you, it's a lot cheaper than Marcus Molitor.
Yep, that is for sure. That's for sure. Absolutely. Hey, anything new that you guys are working on? Something like, I don't know, is there
Oh,
I know it's
yeah.
not part of the script. I didn't send that. I'm
Uh,
getting you right here. Like
actually,
come on, get us excited
no,
here.
there's something new as of like yesterday.
Oh,
So anyway, so there's a few things we're doing for I don't know, am I allowed to talk about our wine club? Anyways,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Come on. It's
so
part of the
there is
family.
the first Blanc de Noir in the works,
Ooh.
and we I don't know how it's gonna be released, so don't hold me to it. But the
So,
Merlot,
Blanc de Noir, you're talking about a sparkling traditional method made from Pinot Noir?
yeah, the block that's right in front of the winery.
Okay.
So that we thinned out before the main harvest, right? So we picked for Blanc. And it'd be very small production, and then we for the first time we did Merlot Appassimento this vintage because 2023 pretty spectacular. And the food was just fantastic and had a good amount of Merlot, so we played around with that.
That's awesome.
And we might have experimented with some of those skins, so I'll leave the rest up.
Oh,
for,
that what did I heard grappa?
No
No?
distilling involved.
No distilling involved because I
No,
know the
but
boss likes his grappa. I know that for a fact.
yeah, you know what? That is that's on the we gotta do this kind of list. That will eventually, legally or illegally, happen eventually.
What else happens? Ripasso? Is this what you're saying?
I don't know.
You guys are turning real Italian out there. That
You
is
guys
awesome.
have a new facility as well, because when we were at the masterclass, the whole reason we could be in your former production area is because you have built a new one in behind, right?
Yes, and actually, you come back next time. We
Yeah.
just polished the concrete floors in the back. It looks like a dance hall in there at the moment. So it turned out to be becoming a very beautiful spot to hang out. The old crush pad we're turning into a patio for the summer.
Wow.
So if people haven't been or have been in the past, it's going to be a whole new experience for the season. Like all good building projects, especially the ones in Niagara-on-the-Lake, things are a little behind. So this was all supposed to happen for this past season. But hey, here we are. Did the first crush in the new facility, and a lot more space and to work, and no more tanks outside. So that's a big
Last
relief.
time you had tanks outside, I lost one of my kids, and you had to jump on the quad to check in the freaking pond if my kid was not. It's solid somewhere.
Let's just say he won the hide and seek.
Yes, he did win the game.
Very proud of himself to this day for that.
Yeah, no, he won. He won. Yeah.
Hey, Marcel, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's always great to talk wine with you. And that's what Mira was saying at the beginning, right? We can talk premium wine. We can talk value wine. We have everything. And that's what the spirit of the holidays this year, it's all about with our last feature of the year. Either buy 11 bottle of one of my value wine of the year, and get your 12 bottle for free. That 91 points Cab Merlot for free shipping, or a 6 bottle discovery pack for $159, or that amazing premium 2020, the 3 big reds and the 19 Appassimento for $199 instead of $225 with free shipping. So I mean, yeah, it's the holiday. Thank you so much for all of these goodies, Marcel. I appreciate your partnership.
Listen, thank you to you guys for what you have been doing, continue to do, and I know we'll keep doing in 2024. I think there's a lot more people out there now that really have starting to get a grasp of what the Canadian wine industry has to offer than there were before. And you know, I know you're always on separate screens, but you should pat each other on the shoulder every once in a while. And it's been an absolutely pleasure to witness your journey, and very inspiring. And I know that's true for most wineries, for all wineries that have dealt with you over the years. So
that is so
congratulations
kind
to you guys. Congratulations.
That's so kind of you, and we're just so grateful that we're able to pull together wine lovers like this, and that we have amazing people like you to share stories with us and keep us motivated with amazing wines. So thank you for everything you do, Marcel.
Yeah, you say hi to the team. Happy holidays to all of you guys, and thank you so much for everything.
Holidays.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Happy holidays. Cheers. See you soon.
Cheers. Thank you.
Woohoo.
That's amazing. Again, I think I say that most like after an interview, but I love it. I love it. And this guy has to be my ultimate favorite across the country. I mean, it's like a treat. Like it's like an old hockey boys room. Like, I mean, like when we do stuff with him, I feel like back in my hockey days where nothing can go wrong when you're with your teammate or something. He's the best in the business. He's the absolute best in the business. I mean, what is built?
It shows in the way they run the winery. That's why they're our members' choice in 2021. I mean, their customer service is top notch. They will
the whole team
lines out. Like they will run out of their way if they get an order at 2:59 and the post office closes at 4. They will pack it up and run and drop it off within the hour so that you can
sometimes we talk about culture, right? And the culture goes from the top, and I mean like the whole team. It's amazing. And it's also the quality of the wine. It's also the value proposition. Every time you taste or you drink with people who drink it, you taste or drink their wine, you feel like you got your money worth. Doesn't matter if it's Diapassimento or the Burnship Bay. Every sip of their wine, you feel like you have your money worth. And this is that sense of confidence and that sense of they just want to deliver an outstanding product, and it feels it. It's in every bottle. It's amazing. So yeah, thanks to the team, and we're excited. So to all of our members, I mean, if you look for a deal, if you look for to stock up or to have a case of wine to share with friends today, this holidays, I mean, that 12, that 11, that 11 make it 12. That 11 make it 12 of the Cab Merlot. I mean, this is just incredible. $19.95 tax in, get a free bottle and free shipping. I mean, maybe Marcel delivers all the cases with the Christmas hat on in the Santa outfit or something like that. But
yeah, and Daryl, great point. I mean, Lou, grows the grapes. Fred makes the wines, and he is truly a master at that. Like, they're each so good at what they do. So it's the Bella Terra Trinity,
Well, I mean, and when you talk about like kindness and his gun and his in all of his sides, like, I mean, Fred is one of the kindest person on the freaking planet. He's just like the guy here with the green shirt. That's Fred. I mean, a talented winemaker, but also as good as a human being can be. Like I just love the guy. And so that's what we have this week. And every time, like I said, since the very first year we were Carl's Wine Club was born, I mean, Bella Terra has been part of our story. And it is again this year, our last winery feature of the year. You can get top value. You can get gold medal. You can get like 95, 94, 93 points wine. You can get deal, like you get everything in there. So, I mean, yeah, checks all of the boxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here's for our Bella Terra, and just quick little thing I want to say. How's your Tempranillo?
It's gone. It's gone. Sadly.
Yeah. Shout out to Mark Simpson at Mythology Vineyard, another guy who produced some amazing value wines, and always you feel you get your money worth. I think it's the case with Mark and Mythology Wines. And since he bought his new property, the former Sonora Desert Winery, now he has he owns a small plot of Tempranillo, like 25-year-old vines of Tempranillo. And this is from the 2021 vintage that you had in your glass, Mira, in barrel still, but really fantastic little wine that is going to be released sometime in 2024. And I had the privilege to spend a part this morning with him, and always catching up and talking great wine and what's coming up. So it was fun.
Sounds like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we are brainstorming about New Year's
Eve. So
I know you want to talk about it, so I'm not
we need some input. The last 2020, 2021, and 2022. So the last 3 years we did a New Year's Eve wine exchange with members. It's a really fun little game where you steal each other's bottles, and then by the end you end up with a bottle that's either slightly below what you paid for the ticket for the night, or it could be quite a bit above what you paid, and you get that shipped out to you right after the New Year. So it's a kind of a fun way to find out about other bottles out there, find out about other members' wine preferences, and end up with a bottle that maybe you've never even heard of. That might just be a new favorite, right? So Elaine says Canadian winemakers are so fabtastic. A new word. I love it. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that, Elaine.
We need that input if we want to keep doing that. It was a COVID thing, because obviously we can do anything else on New Year's, but it kind of grew on us. It's kind of fun to kind of end up with a mystery bottle by the end of New Year's, early in the New Year's Eve anyways, so not later when you're maybe with family or friends. But what we would like to do, that we're thinking of doing this year, is our top 10 wines of the year awards, which we normally do later in the new year. We want
usually like what, like at the end of January, right?
Yeah, February sometimes even. So kind of a recap of this past year, because we already know what the best wines were. I mean, it's just a matter of reviewing all your notes and scores, and then just announcing those, right? So
we've decided this year we're going to do it on the 31st. So we're going to close the year on December 31st with the reveal of the top 10 wine of the year, top value wine of the year. I might add a category this year. I don't know. I just feel like something new maybe. But
yeah, so feedback is welcome. We'll probably post about it this week in the VIP group, and looking for ways to make it as fun, engaging, exciting, and build that community of wine lovers.
There you go.
Appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our Mira. Do you want to put the link in the chat box for this week, Bella Terra?
I did earlier. Let me do it right now again, in case you guys are thinking of getting one of these fabulous wines we talked about. Like we said, we're probably going to keep it open a little bit longer than normal. So probably till mid to late next week at least. Yeah, we'll go from there.
And
we forgot to ask Marcel. So do you know, Carl, is the Sauv Blanc sold out?
I'm sure I can get my hand on a few bottles. So they're all, I'll get back to you, say, you know what? We'll text Marcel right now.
Yeah, is your Sauv Blanc sold out? It is one of my very favorite Sauv Blancs in the country. It is great value as well. And that's what he was talking about, sort of closer to the lake that they're expanding their vineyard sites. There's a gorgeous vineyard right on the lake that we got to go to last year. And it was just begging and screaming for like a Carl's Wine Club wine picnic there or something. It's a beautiful spot right by the lake. The vines just go right up to the lake. It's pretty cool.
Oh, there you go. So you know what, Marcel, you're fired. Someone is replying faster.
So Tammy at the winery says we may have some bottles. So yeah, we'll look into that. Definitely, whenever we do a feature like this, if you have a special bottle that you wish was on the feature and it's not, we can always find out and add it. So love to do that.
There you go.
Guys, well,
all right. So we're gonna get
Wine Wednesday.
That was awesome. Next week, we're going to do a bubble special. So it's going to be bubbly across the board. I'm going to taste, 12 different bubbly, more on the fun stuff. And it's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. I might have a few winemakers joining us, talking bubbly. And I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be our last one. Are we going to do one for Christmas and all that? Or we keep going? We're not taking a break from Wine Wednesday?
Why would we?
You're the boss, so I don't know. I'm just an employee here. I'm just doing what people tell me to do. Carl, taste some wine. Carl, review wines. Carl, get online.
I might have to pay you overtime, so we'll see.
There you go. Thank you very much, Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, all of you across the country. I wish you a great rest of your evening. I'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.